Sometimes the things I write about. Homework. August 27, 2019 by Anna von Reitz. Yes, sometimes the things I write about go right over people's heads, and, my fellow Americans, are left standing there scratching their ears and looking very dull indeed. It's not their fault. They aren't stupid. They have been deliberately uneducated and left in the dark by swanky criminals bent on making use of them. So the rest of the world will have to understand this about Americans and be patient while we catch up. Once alerted and motivated, as everyone knows, we can be hell on wheels, one of the ironic consequences of being used as gun fodder for 150 years. There's a part of us that really doesn't give an F. That comes in handy for fighting evil, once we have a clear view of the enemy. So, gangway. I am sharing 2 articles from the not-so-mainstream media, which I recommend that you read in order one after the other, and then, connect the dots. The first article from Zero Hedge is about HSBC and its role as the premier money laundering agency for the British-operated opium trade in the Far East, India, and Afghanistan. It will be a shock for most Americans to realize that there has been a triangle trade in drugs similar to the triangle trade in slaves that existed between New England, Barbados, and Africa. The drug trade dates from the same era as the slave trade. It simply occurred in a different part of the world. It will also be a shock to realize that India, China, and Afghanistan have been used and abused by the British to create, sustain, and yes, even enforce, this illicit drug trade despite its heinous and destructive nature and despite all the hypocritical anti-drug posturing of the Western governments. The Zero Hedge article describes the traditional money laundering system of HSBC and the Swiss cartels. The second article by Layman's Law describes what is being done now, and how the vermin are using their bogus foreclosure mill and private mercenary security forces mislabeled law enforcement and acting under color of law as state of officials to unlawfully convert their worthless paper generated from drugs, slave trading, gambling, and other illicit activities into nice clean real estate assets in America. This has to be stopped by shutting down the municipal and administrative courts that are enforcing and running the laundry, and then by shutting down the banks and secondary mortgage servicing companies that are making the false claims and corrupting the course of justice. Make no mistake, this is super big business, and it represents generations of corruption by the British Crown. Literally millions of people are involved worldwide, from Kandahar to Kuwait, from Persia to Pittsburgh. And the only way it can be stopped is for many more millions of people to wake up and take action. It's either that, or everyone on Earth will be enslaved to criminals and criminal enterprises, and life will not be worth living. You might as well hold your noses and jump. What you will see is how the same British and European criminals have raped and pillaged and abused the entire rest of the world, including America, and also how they have used America as their whipping boy. You will understand once and for all that the US is not America, that the British Crown is not the British monarchy, that the UN Corp is not the United Nations, that the United States is not the United States, and that the United States of America was never the United States of America either. You will also understand exactly how and why the rest of the world has been misled into hating America, how they have misidentified us so that we are mistaken as the US, and how the US has in turn been used as a vicious club by British fobs and European bankers to subdue and defraud and oppress and cheat and corrupt the entire rest of the world. We, Americans, have been unknowingly used as their patsies and proxies in place of the Raj to do all this harm, so of course we get painted with the ugly brush. Of course, other nations hate and fear us. This is why you've got people in Tehran and throughout the world ignorantly shouting, "Death to America." Because the British creatures and their municipal city of Rome counterparts certainly don't want the blame for their actions and schemes coming back to them, do they? The nasty little cowards would much rather play the part of sanctimonious and thoroughly decent people, and let you take the blame and pay the costs of their warmongering and criminality. Watch on. Link 1, https://www.zerohedge.com/news/2015-02-16/HSBC Bank Secret Origins Laundering World's Drug Money. Link 2, https://laymanslaw.home.blog/how to steal and launder trillions in American foreclosures. Come on, people. You can do it. Daylight in the swamps. Spend 3 minutes and pay special attention to what Godfrey Bloom has to tell you in this one, at the 4-minute mark. https://www.youtube.com/watch?v=4ogjerfu4. Spend another couple minutes and see what the former head of the IRS has to say about the voluntary income tax that we all purportedly volunteered to pay, though most of us have no federal income at all. https://www.c-span.org/video/c4455340/IRS head Steve Miller admits income taxes voluntary. Spread the word and take the action. Declare your actual birthright political status and take a stand. Push back. Join your state assembly. Organize your civilian courts to replace the municipal and administrative courts. Alert every sheriff and deputy sheriff and law enforcement officer. Tell every U.S. Marshal. The Continental Marshals already know. Tell everyone you know in the military. Tell the members of the phony Congresses. Give them no plausible deniability. Tell them and let them all know what's going down. Inform them, and if anyone complains, just tell them that you are doing your public duty to inform them of crimes being committed, and that if you didn't do your public duty you would be an accomplice to those crimes, just as they will be if they don't get the lead out and put a stop to it.